All right, welcome to day 2 of our book, The Magic Treehouse Pirates Past Noon. This is going to be a little bit of a treat today because we're going to do 2 chapters. We're going to have 2 and 3. And as I'm reading these chapters, what I want you to do is look for verbs that you think make the reading super interesting. So if you remember, a verb is something that you do, like run or jump or high five. Anything that you do is a verb. So you can have a piece of paper, and as you listen to me or as you read along, copy down any of the verbs that you think make the writing more interesting. All right, so let's take a look at our table of contents. And we have Chapter 2, The Bright Blue Sea. Jack felt hot sunlight streaming into the treehouse. He smelled salt water. He heard the sound of waves. He and Annie looked out the window. The treehouse was in a palm tree. Beyond was a bright blue sea. A tall sailing ship was on the horizon. It was just like the picture in the book. "Too late!" squawked Polly. "Look," said Annie. Polly was flying in circles above the treehouse. Then she swooped down to the ocean. "Come on, let's follow her. Let's go to the water," said Annie. She took off her raincoat and dropped it on the floor. "Wait, we have to study the book first," said Jack. He started to reach for the book, but Annie grabbed it. "You can read it on the beach," she said. Without even looking at the cover, she shoved the book into Jack's backpack. He sighed. Actually, the water did look wonderful. "Okay," Jack said. He took off his raincoat, too. "Come on," Annie handed Jack his backpack, then started down the ladder. Jack folded the raincoat and put it next to the stack of books. He put on his backpack, and then he went down the ladder. As soon as Annie hit the sand, she ran toward the ocean. Jack watched her wade into the water. She was still wearing her rain boots. "Your boots, Annie," Jack called. She shrugged. "They'll dry out." Jack took off his boots and socks. He put them beside his pack. Then he rolled up his jeans and ran across the hot sand into the waves. The water was warm and clear. Jack could see shells and tiny fishes. He shielded his eyes against the sun and peered out at the sea. The tall sailing ship seemed a bit closer. "Where's Polly?" said Annie. Jack glanced around. No sign of Polly. Not in the palm trees. Not on the sunlit sand. Not even over the bright sea. When Jack looked out at the sea again, the ship seemed even closer. Now Jack could see its flag. As he stared at the ship's flag, a chill went through him. The flag was black, with a skull and crossbones. "Oh, man," he breathed. He started out of the water. "What's wrong?" said Annie. She splashed after him. Jack ran to his backpack. Annie followed. He grabbed the book from his backpack and he looked at the cover. For the first time, he and Annie read the title of the book. "Yikes," said Annie. "Pirates of the Caribbean," Jack read aloud. Chapter 3. 3 Men in a Boat. "We've come to the time of pirates," Jack said. "Pirates?" squeaked Annie. "Like in Peter Pan?" Jack flipped to the picture that showed the parrot, the sea, and the ship. He read the caption under the picture. 300 years ago, pirates raided Spanish treasure ships in the Caribbean Sea. He grabbed his notebook and pencil from his backpack. He wrote, "Pirates in the Caribbean." He turned to the next page. There was a picture of a pirate flag. He read, "The skull and crossbones flag was called the Jolly Roger." "Let's go," said Annie. "Wait," said Jack. "I want to make a drawing of the flag." He propped the pirate book in the sand. He started drawing the Jolly Roger flag. "Don't copy the picture in the book," said Annie. "Look at the real thing." But Jack pushed his glasses into place and kept drawing. "Jack, some pirates are getting into a rowboat," said Annie. Jack kept drawing. "Jack, the boat's leaving the big ship," said Annie. "What?" Jack looked up. "Look," Annie pointed. Jack looked. He saw the rowboat coming toward the shore. "Run!" said Annie. She started running toward the treehouse. Jack jumped up. His glasses fell off. "Hurry!" Annie called back to him. Jack went down on his knees. He felt for his glasses. Where were they? Jack saw something glinting in the sand. He reached for it. It was his glasses. He snatched them up. Then he threw his notebook and pencil into his pack. He put the pack on his back. He grabbed his boots and his socks, and he took off running. "Hurry, they're coming!" Annie was at the top of the rope ladder. Jack looked back at the sea. The pirates were closer to the shore. Suddenly, Jack saw the pirate book. In all the confusion, he'd forgotten it. It was still propped in the sand. "Oh, man, I forgot the book," he said. He dropped his socks and boots below the treehouse. "Come on, Jack!" Annie shouted. "I'll be right back," Jack called. "I've got to get the book." "Jack, forget it!" But Jack was already running toward the water. Jack grabbed the book. Come back," Annie shouted. Jack shoved the book into his backpack. Suddenly, a giant wave carried the rowboat right onto the beach. "Run, Jack!" shouted Annie. 3 big pirates splashed onto the sand. They had knives in their teeth. They had pistols in their belts. They charged towards Jack. "Run, Jack, run!" cried Annie. Oh, man. So Jack is on the beach. The pirates are coming after him. Annie's in the treehouse. I don't know why he felt like he had to go back for all those things over and over again. Just take a second and think, would you have left all your stuff on the beach with pirates coming? Or would you have gone back and tried to get everything? Go ahead and share that answer with whoever's in your house, either a parent or a sibling or anything like that. And just give them a little bit of a summary of everything that we read today. In addition, you can send me the verbs that you wrote down, or you can just share those with your parent at home. But I'm super interested to find out what the verbs were that you thought made the writing more interesting. Do you think that maybe you could use some verbs like that in your own writing? Sometimes it's really easy to just want to use the same verbs like went and go and some of these short little words, but what makes our writing super interesting is when we use special words that we don't just use all the time. It makes it a lot more engaging and gives you a better picture in your own head. Come back tomorrow for part 3!